Hello, everyone, and welcome to our info session today on Full Stack Developer. My name is Mashur Chaudhry, and I am the Manager of Recruitment and Sales for the Chang School. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the land on which Toronto Metropolitan University is built upon. Toronto is in the Dish with One Spoon territory. Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. I thank the indigenous peoples of Turtle Island for their efforts to protect the land, and I deeply regret the past injustices they've endured. As Toronto Metropolitan University seeks to move forward in partnership with Indigenous peoples, I pledge to foster an environment that is more inclusive and welcoming of Indigenous peoples from all communities. Now, I'd like to go over a few items so you know how to participate in today's session. Your microphone is muted throughout the event so as not to disturb other attendees or the speakers. For the hearing impaired, we have automated captioning available, which you can access by activating it in the toolbar at the bottom of your screen. And you can submit your questions for our speakers at any time by typing them into the question box. And we'll collect them throughout the session and address them at the end of the presentation. Now I'd like to introduce our guest speakers for today. We have Dr. Alex Forwarn, Academic Coordinator of the certificate, and Michal Miu, an entrepreneur and developer of the certificate. We also have Dave Dalrymple, who is an academic and a career advisor. He's going to be also answering some questions. And before we invite our guests, I'd like to run a quick poll with everybody. I'm just going to put this poll up. And yeah, we just want to know, what motivated you to consider this certificate? And some of the options, I'll just read them out. We've got career advancement, career change, skill building for current role, personal interest, and others. So leading the way with 40% is career change right now. We'll leave it up for just a couple of more seconds and we'll get started. Awesome. We'll end the poll and share the results. As you can see, the career change and career advancement are leading, with career change being the highest. So thank you for participating in this poll. It gives our speakers some feedback as well, and then lets our team know what everyone is thinking. So next, I'll invite our academic coordinator, Dr. Alex Forwarn, to share the certificate overview. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you very much, Mashur. Yep, welcome everyone. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the good choice you're hopefully going to make. Um, so this certificate is about full stack, and full stack is all about everything to do with the website, which used to be able to get you a job, but never did it very recently. So full stack is about what happens in the back end, what happens in the front end, the development of the entire thing. And this is a great way to jump into the world of information technology and computation, because you actually touch upon many, many things. Plus, it's employable. So if you have an unfortunate degree or maybe a college diploma that isn't working for you, this might be something you're very interested in. Now, it is competitively priced, but you get a lot for what you pay for. The idea is that we will push you into the working world ready to actually work and be hired, rather than to give you a lot of theoretical knowledge that you probably won't use. You'll get that along the way too, but we are portfolio based, meaning that you'll be doing things within the certificate that you can show potential employers, and we will back that up. So it's 4 courses. It's completely online. It could take you 8 months to complete. Many people try and complete it faster, and some wish to complete it much slower. So we're not pushing you into this. And there's the pricing that you can see. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is still a high demand area. Rumor has it that things have been slowing down in the IT world, but actually not necessarily for this certificate and the employment that could come out of it. The salary range is pretty good, and will certainly help you raise a family if you need to do that with something. And I know that's what people are looking for as well. You can actually get into parts of computer science that were kind of blocked to you if you don't have a computer science degree. So we talk about many of the things that we would talk about to actually implement systems to roll them out to the public. And it is a pretty good career path in that you don't have to stay as a full stack developer because you understand how applications work and how the infrastructure that supports those applications also works. You can move into other areas around computation, but also for things like security. So it's a pretty I guess a good way to dip your toe into computation and providing services. And a lot of people use this for their own reasons, right? So they develop their own websites, they develop their own systems. And if you're an entrepreneur, this is a good way of doing it as well. Next slide, please. So there are a lot of ways to go with this. So this traditional application development streams that we have seen, but you can also become managers of actually systems. Not just the technical manager, but since you will understand the technical components of a system. If you already have the managerial ability, this provides you a great opportunity to be an all-around great employee. Web applications are very popular and other things apart from simple websites, including moving into app development for mobile devices like cell phones. You'll be learning a few programming languages that are very popular, especially Python and JavaScript. You may have heard of these. Well, you'll have a chance to use them. And if you're already proficient in them, so much the better. So you see what's there. That's quite a good opportunity. Next slide, please. So there we go. Web developers and programmers at the top of the list for potential employment. Now, we don't guarantee this amount of money, but we do actually talk to our alumni, and this data comes from our alumni data. So people are out there making this amount of money. And Full Stack kind of introduces you to all of it. Next slide. So there are all kinds of reasons for taking certificates, and so we can't capture them all. Um, some of our more successful applicants are people who had no interest in doing system development at all. They were actually people who wandered in. So we've had my most famous example is a single mother who comes in and wants to do system development and took the full stack development certificate and now is doing that as a freelancer. So I was quite surprised to see that, but it is yet another career path. So next slide. So you'll learn quite a lot. I mean, the most important thing probably you'll learn is the end-to-end development cycle and the tools that are used within it. But you'll also learn the lingo, right? So how people talk about developing for applications and the things that you need to know. And a lot of these jobs are about understanding how things fit together. And fortunately, we have very good instructors for this, including Michael Mew, who you'll hear from shortly. Next slide. Now, this is where the Chang School at Toronto Metropolitan University excels in that we don't just leave you dangling. The idea is that you would take our certificate and we back our product, which you will become. So we have a large alumni network. We have online sessions to help you if you're falling behind. We have a lot of support, and the support doesn't stop simply when you finish the certificate. So I am the academic coordinator, but I will also be backing this product, with letters of reference and support. I will talk to your potential employers, as will the director of this area. So this is a very powerful way of getting a foot in the door. We can't guarantee anything, but we want your success because your success is our success. We don't do this for free, and we charge you a bunch of money to do it. But we do that because we know you're going to go out there and make us proud, and we'll be able to sell more. So why would we make a bad product? Next slide, please. So this is an employability certificate. So if you're looking to make a change, which I see from the poll that many people are, the career changers, this might be your opportunity. Mind you, individuals are individuals, so you'll have to ask some questions and dive in when you can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alex, for sharing that overview. Coming from the professor of computer science and the faculty of science, it really resonates, I think, with all of our prospective learners that are interested in taking this certificate, and also for letting us know what it's about, the benefits, and the support that's available who wants to take that certificate. Now it's my pleasure to introduce one of our developers of the certificate, Michael May, and we'll welcome him to say a few words.
All right. Thank you very much. So I'm I'm responsible for developing the full stack developer course. So my course is actually named after the product, after the program, or the program's named after my course. It depends on how you want to look at it. Full stack developer is very important, and the reason is you actually look at developing an entire application. So when I say the entire application, don't think of it as a single application. It's actually multiple applications, but it's a single system or a single infrastructure. And all these applications have to be available and work 24/7. So that means they cannot go down. So if one application goes down, then your system doesn't work. So what we do is we use a three-tier architecture approach, and then we can enhance that to an N-tier. So when you look at all the world systems, they're all based on three-tier or N-tier architecture. So when I say a world system, that's basically a system with 1 billion concurrent users. So when I say a billion concurrent users, they have to be logged in at the same time. All right. So we don't look at averages. We don't look at best case scenario. Only one scenario counts, and that's the worst case scenario. Right? You have that billion users. Can your system handle it? It's either yes or no. All right. So when I say can your system handle it, you're probably going to say, well, I work on PCs, right? So they'll never be able to handle a billion users. Yes, when you develop on PCs, you may handle a few thousand users. But if you take the same application and you deploy it on more powerful hardware, the application is scalable. So it scales up to a billion users. So what this means is you don't have to change your code base. You just purchase new hardware, right? So you have to understand there is developing the application, and then there is maintaining the application. So the lifetime of the application is 10 years. So that I'm hoping you're going to develop successful applications. And developing the application may be 6 months, a year. All right. And then after that, you go to version 2 and a version 3 and so on.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Right.
Thank you so much for sharing that, and talking to us about world systems and what we'll be going through in your course if we take the certificate. Now I wanted to quickly invite our academic and career advisor, Dave Dalrymple. If you can just tell us a little bit about what you and your team does. Welcome, Dave.
Hey, sorry about that. Was just having some connection issues on my end. As Mashur noted, I'm an academic and career advisor at the Chang School. My name is Dave Dalrymple. I work with my colleague Abby Vasikaran, and we primarily connect with prospective students to discuss their academic goals, help them in their decision making around career goals and academic goals. And so if any of the people in attendance today have any questions that they'd like to address in a format that's maybe longer than just a quick call to the client services team, who is also very capable, you can absolutely book an appointment with one of us, and we'd be happy to chat further with you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thanks so much for mentioning that, Dave. And so thank you to our speakers. That ends the presentation portion. of our session. We'll now open the floor to everyone for Q&A. Please enter your questions by typing them into the question box of the control panel. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got. So the first question is, do students get experience working on real-world scenarios or simulated client projects? So maybe Alex, you could start with that.
Yeah, the answer is yes. So we're portfolio based, meaning that we need to give you examples that are actually realistic. Now, they're not for real people. Like, we don't actually find companies for you to write code in case you're able to do it suddenly. What we do is we give you scenarios, and those scenarios result in a project, and the project you get saved by you so that you can actually show people who actually have real customers that you're working on real problems. So that is the intent of this. So this is not simply an academic exercise in you learning JavaScript, for example. The idea is that you would use your skill sets and this portfolio to demonstrate to potential employers that you are employable and are worth checking out.
So can I add to that?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Right. So in our courses, we have practical projects. So when I say practical projects, I actually looked for companies that exist, and I talked to the management, the board of directors of the companies, the management, the founders of the companies. And I said, can we use your company to create a project for that? And when we started this course, so the project that we used was JW Foods, which is a company in Scarborough, and they provide food to athletes. Now, things changed, and the project that we use is Anime Hub. And Anime Hub, it's a real company. Yeah, it's a real company. So we basically built a shopping cart for Anime Hub in order to celebrate. So this past year was their first anniversary. Now it's going to be their second anniversary. And we're wrapping up the course for this term. So the founder of Anime Hub is going to be attending the project presentations.
That's really awesome. Thank you so much for adding that. That's huge value for anyone in that course to be attending, the founder attending the presentations, and also a good opportunity to work on real world scenarios and simulations. So thank you for sharing that. So the next question is the program. I know you touched on this, Alex, before, but I guess the learner wants to know, is it suitable for complete beginners, or is some coding experience recommended?
It's not recommended. It's always helpful to know what you're doing before you get to a place where you have to do it for real. But we take that into account. So if you're an absolute beginner, we will work with you to actually get you up to speed. It takes a bit of time, but you will get it. And we have many examples of people who have nothing. They're coming from no experience to completely different experiences. We had one of our students was a dancer, actually. So they actually had a degree in fine arts in dance and was looking to augment what they like to do, but wasn't paying a lot of money. And they had no experience with, I forget what it was. It was Python, I think. And so they were worried about the same thing, and they're doing just fine. They're graduates, so they're one of our alumni now. So that is where we are. I also saw that people are concerned about how much time it takes up to do this certificate. And you have to work at it. When you get an assignment, you do actually have to do the assignments. But it is a part-time certificate. So you don't do it full time. That's the intention. So we give you a lot of time and sufficient time to complete the assignments and work on the projects. But again, that's up to you, right? So how much effort you put into this is really, it's your decision to do that. But we will work with you no matter what your timelines are. Thank you.
So can I add to that?
Yes, absolutely.
So what is important is that you attend classes regularly. One of the tools that we use is generative AI, and we're using GitHub Copilot. So if you ever need help writing code, AI Copilot will help you. All right, AI Copilot will help you. Now, if you're a beginner, you can certainly take the courses. That's not an issue. You may have to spend a bit more effort. I did have beginners that took my course, and they liked it very much, right? They liked it very much. What is important? What is important is that you have a good set of tools. So when I say you have a good set of tools, you got a good laptop. You need a big screen, all right? You're gonna need a big screen, all right? And for this course, we use what's called a virtual machine. So we use VirtualBox, and you need on your laptop. Hopefully, it's a Windows machine, or Linux also works. All right, the Mac machines they've given us nothing but grief. All right, so Windows or Linux works very well, and hopefully you have 16 gig of RAM. All right, so then you can run your virtual machines without any issues. All right, so it is important that that you have a good laptop. It's also important that you attend classes regularly. Now, you may fall a bit behind. So if you fall behind, just say, I fell behind. You don't have to come up with excuses. We all have issues with life, all right? But make sure you catch up on, all right? Make sure you catch up, and make sure you submit your project, right? Make sure you submit your project. So now I just noticed when it comes to work, how it's going to be accomplished. It says, can this work be done online? So the program is over Zoom. All right. So you have to understand the program is over Zoom. So you basically sit in your home office. All right. And it's anywhere from 6 to 9 or 6:30 to 9:30, depends on how the courses are scheduled. So 3 hours per week, and then we have tutorials. So tutorials are either on Friday or Saturday, all right, about 2 to 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours on Saturday, 2 to 3 hours on Friday, depends on which one you can attend. Make sure you attend all the tutorials, because if there are any questions that we haven't covered in class, you can always discuss those during the tutorial. And also, don't just state your problems. Be ready to share your screen. So this way we can actually see where the problems are, or what the problems are, and we can actually give you a solution that is going to work, right? So when I say a solution, we can write code, all right, amongst all of us, a collaborative effort. So not just me and you, but also the class might help, and we can come up with a solution. Don't forget, if you have a problem, that means another student has the same problem, right? So if we solve one problem, we're gonna chances are we solve the same problem for other people.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. I think it's really reassuring for people to hear that, if you're a beginner, we'll work with you, at whatever your level of skill is, we'll work with you. So thank you for sharing those insights. Next question is, are instructors industry professionals currently working in full stack roles? So I know you can't really speak to other instructors, but if you can talk a little bit about your roles or someone else that
Well,
you.
that is funny.
So, go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
So I'll start. Michal is certainly a professional working in this area, and an entrepreneur working for himself as well. He's also a doctoral student, and he's in fact my doctoral student. And so I'm a professional working in this field as well, but I'm working as a professor. I stopped doing full stack development, I'd say roughly 15 years ago, but I've kept up with it. And the other instructors have sort of similar experiences. Right? So nobody is a pure person working heads down programming, because if they were, they wouldn't be teaching for us. They'd be heads down programming. So we have people who put their head up and thought, I can do better than what's going on in the industry now by participating in a decent set of educational offerings. And that's what we've got. Thanks.
Next question is there a final capstone project that we can use? If we can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Anime Hub, right? So basically, build a shopping cart for an anime store or a comic book provider.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good example.
If I could just jump in there for a bit, you'll find that all change school areas or all change school certificates and course offerings generally do a capstone course because we want you to have something to show somebody else. So we're very light on things like examinations because examinations don't really help anybody. You get a mark at the end, but nobody cares what your mark is when you're trying to get a job. But they often care what you've done. So we want to give you things that you've actually done.
So can I share my screen?
Yes, absolutely.
Send request. Is it coming?
You should be good now.
Oh, okay, there it is. Just a second. Which one is it? Place an order. There it is. So here's a can you guys see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Right. So here's the order form for the anime project. So this is what one of the students did, and basically they're experimenting with new technologies. So when I say new technologies, we use Bootstrap, and he wanted to use Tailwind. So he just sent me he emailed me his solution over the weekend. So it looks quite nice. So I'm just gonna enter the name. Right. So then region, North America, right? So you want to make everything easily. So then the question becomes which package you're gonna purchase, right? So notice we're very much inspired by shopping carts such as Amazon and Shopify, and then you can click over here to place your order. And so that's a ton of work just went into the solution. All right. So remember, you look at it in terms of systems. So there's the front end, which you see, but you don't see what happens in the middleware and then the back end. All right. So in this course, you're actually gonna see all of this, and you get to run the entire project. You get to run it on your machine, and then if you want, you can deploy it. You can deploy it on the internet through a third-party hosting provider. Only issue is some of these hosting providers they charge quite a bit. So we did find free tiers, but we noticed the application works a bit on the slow side on the 3 tiers. All right, thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, giving us behind the curtains sneak peek into what can be possible. So thank you for doing that. I'll go ahead with the next question from Noor Habib Samim is after completing the course, are we able to develop an app for phones? So mobile development.
Do you want to go with that, Michal?
So the question is problematic. All right, so the question is problematic. So the question is, are you able to develop an app that entirely runs on your phone, or are you able to develop a user interface that runs on your phone and that connects to a service? All right, so which one is what exactly is the question? And also don't forget, when you're looking at phones, there are 2 different platforms. So we have Android and we have iPhones, iOS. All right, so they're 2 different code bases that you're faced with. So one of the issues is you don't want to have 2 different code bases. You want to have a single code base. So can you elaborate a little bit with regards to the nature of your application so we can answer the question?
Okay, we'll
Well,
wait for Noor to elaborate. But yeah, go ahead, Alex, if you had something.
Oh, while we're waiting for that, so the thing is, it's not the focus of our certificate to have people develop the front end on a phone, for example. It's the focus to understand the entire system and work in the components that are the front, the middle, and the back. So we don't specifically teach app development for Android, for example, but we do have other course offerings that do actually teach that. So I guess that would be the short answer.
So I think you said general regular application.
Yes, general
So,
regular application.
when you say, so you mean a standalone application, correct? Like it runs
No,
entirely on your phone.
no,
So yeah, that's, I'm sorry?
no, we don't do that. Not entirely on the phone. We always require something to be off the phone, right? So,
But there's one of the courses they actually do that, and then basically they use a third party tool to generate code that generate a binary that runs on the phone.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we
Okay.
do that part.
Yeah, there is that. There's only one issue with third parties is that they go through constant changes, right? They go through constant changes. So what works now will not work in 3 months or 6 months. So let me be Michal, all right? So the advice that I can give you guys is look at the future. So ask yourself where you're now. Ask yourself where you want to be in 6 months. Ask yourself when you want to be in 2 years, and ask yourself where you want to be in 5 years. All right, and that is kind of going to identify what technologies you're going to focus on and what direction you're going to have to choose. All right, so when we look at three-tier architecture in the past, especially, so when I say the past is when we started this course in 2022. Front end was a web interface, middleware with Python with Flask, and the back end was a database. So the three-tier architecture stays the same. However, it may change. So for example, the backend may not necessarily be a database, but it might be a large language model, an LLM, or the AI repository. All right. It's still a database, but it's a database of a slightly different nature, right? The middleware, chances are it will not change. So Python or Flask, it's been around for a few years. It's been very well respected. In the last 5 years, it's really grown. And the reason is it's a light infrastructure. So when I say it's a light infrastructure, if you have a laptop, you can run on a laptop. If you have a powerful server, you can run on a powerful server. And if you have a data center, then it'll run very well in a data center and it'll become a real world application supporting a billion users without changing the code base. Right? You just change your deployment process. All right. So that's what you have to understand. Now, when you're looking at the landscape in Canada, there is a lot of growth, and outside of Toronto, we have a lot of data centers opening up. So reason why they're outside of Toronto is we need real estate, and all these data centers require space. All right, so they're opening up outside of Toronto. We have electricity, we have space available, and what you have to understand is we have to maintain all these data centers. And when you look at maintaining them, they're going to require an army of people, and hopefully, when you look at who's going to work in these data centers, it's pretty much going to be a lot of young people. So basically, look at the mirror. All right. Chances are it's going to be quite a few of you. All right. So in 6 months, a lot of these data centers will be complete. Right. So they complete the database. Guess what happens? They need people to run them. All right. Now, be careful when they ask you for experience, and the reason is nobody has that experience because we never had these data centers before. So whenever they ask you for experience, yeah, right, okay, you can laugh to their face, and feel free to call me up so I can give them a piece of my mind. So no, you're not going to have experience because it's a brand new environment. So what this means is you're going to have to learn it. So ask yourself, are you trainable, right? If you're trainable, it's excellent. Are you going to make mistakes? Yeah, everybody makes mistakes, right? I can tell you, yeah, I've made mistakes, all right? So you make a mistake, right? You figure out where you made the mistake, and you recover, all right? So that's called resiliency, all right? So make sure you're there for the organization. Make sure you provide a service. Now, if something happens, you don't have to fix it right away. Hopefully, it's good that you fix it right away, but sometimes you need time. You noticed in the last couple of weeks there was an outage, one of the big providers, and it took them hours to get up and running. And that's with not an army of people, with not a building of people, but buildings of people. And then they finally figure out, oh, it was a single system that crashed that crashed everything. So they got that up and running, and everything was fixed. So
Nice.
I think these data centers are going to be very important. And when we look at AI, generative AI, large language models, so artificial intelligence in some sort of capacity is going to influence our industry. All right, it's going to influence our industry. So when you take our courses, right, it's good that that you use AI. So for example, when you take my course, I'm going to be teaching full stack development. Right, in day one, ask me right away about using AI. So we use GitHub Copilot, right? And the reason is it's easily available, right? And if you don't want to use GitHub Copilot, then you can use AI assistant from JetBrains. All right, you have to log in and use your university email to get the to get access to the AI. All right, and then
Great.
figure out which area of the industry you're going to be working on, and also geography helps quite a bit. All right, so for example, when I say geography helps quite a bit, who lives in Toronto and who lives outside of the city of Toronto. All right, so that kind of tells you where you're going to find employment. All right, the other issue is, do you have a vehicle? All right, so that's becoming very important. So I have a vehicle, and sometimes I have to drive to places, right? So it's not a problem. So if I'm late because of the highway, right, I just call them up or just send a text. Listen, there's nothing I can do. I'm late. All right, wait for me. I'll be there. All right. So having a vehicle, again, that tells you what your capabilities are. All right, and also it's going to tell you what your area of operations is going to be. All right. So I think that's probably the best advice I can give you. Right.
That's really good advice. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing such a comprehensive thought. Want to now
Oh,
move over to a couple of questions that are open in there.
what
What
the
language will be taught in the course? And then how interactive are classes? Do they include labs, coding exercises, live coding, since it's online? So if we could talk a
so
little bit about the interactiveness and what languages are taught.
Yeah, I can add that, and then the updates. I think there was one more. So how often do we update? I'm constantly updating, and the reason is I'll get you a solution, and it's going to break in 3 months. Don't think of it as a single application. Think of it as a series of applications or an infrastructure, and there's always a service that you're dependent on, and they're going to change that. They're going to change that service, so your application is going to break, right? So I have to update everything all the time, all right? We constantly have to update the course. All right. So we did a major update last year, but we have to do an update again this year because the web services, Google's been changing web services and so on. So
It's not
updates are
just, if I can just jump in for a minute, Mihail, it's not just the technology that we update, right? So even the techniques get updated through suggestions through our industrial councils. So we have people who are advising us on what industry trends are, and the program director in this area, she's constantly monitoring what's going on in the field, and with people like Mikhail who are constantly monitoring the technology to see that it all works together. It's hard to say. I mean, we have a formal requirement almost to update every 6 months, but it's constantly every day, and it's kind of annoying. But we do it because otherwise you don't have a good opportunity, right? So we're doing it because we have to, but it's a good thing that we are.
so languages so basically for full stack, you have to understand that it's a Python and third parties APIs. So when you look at third party APIs, anything that Python can use, for example, Flask. All right, and also clients that can access databases, Mongo Express or SQL Alchemy. And now someone is going to ask me about, well, what happens if I don't want to access a traditional database? I want to access an LLM, and they're the OpenAI extensions that you can use LLMs. All right, so that's how you have to look at it. The other approach is the small devices, right? So when I say small devices, the phone, the mobile devices. So it's not just phones, all right? It's not just phones. You have to look at mobile development. You have to look in terms of tablet. And the reason tablets are important is the phone generation, they're getting older. And as they get older, they need glasses, and they're finding out that they can't use their phones. But they got used to using the apps, so they say, "Can you get me an app for the tablet?" So when you're looking at tablet apps, there is the two languages. There is Kotlin for Android and Swift for iOS. All right. The only issue is that you have two code bases, so you want to look at creating a single code base for both of those platforms, and that's a bit more difficult, right? That's a bit more difficult. All right, and there was one more question in there.
Yeah, it was
I
about
answered two,
curriculum updating, and then what languages?
right?
Those are the two. And how interactive are the classes? Do they
Oh,
include
okay.
lab?
So yes. So the Python course and the full stack course, you've got you got a lecture and you got a lab for every single lecture.
Beautiful.
Now, we have to be reasonable. So I kept on adding and adding to the course, and we ended up like 14, 50 modules in full stack. So that's a bit too much. So what I said is, get me 8 labs, any 8 labs, right? Hand in 8 labs. And after you finish with the 8 labs, let's focus on the project, because that's very important. And the reason is the project you get to keep. So once you finish the course, the virtual machine, it's yours, right? It doesn't time out. It stays on your computer, and you can always use that as a portfolio project. All right, you can always use that as a portfolio project. So very, very, very practical. All right, very practical.
Thank you. Yeah, just wanted to know if there's anything else anyone wanted to add in terms of the courses, the experience, and what will be taught in some of the courses and devices. Okay. We don't have any more open questions, so any last thoughts from anyone?
I would say that if you're going to decide to take something, even out of interest, this is one of the more interesting certificates, in that it touches on so many different areas. So you might hear us talking about the question was about small devices, and Mikhail expanded it to tablets. But you can see where it's going. The thing is going so quickly, and the opportunity is so great. We're going to be talking to cars, right? Because a lot of those are networked now. So we're not there yet, but you can see that this area is expanding. And in an expanding area, as Mikhail was saying, is an opportunity for employment. So then your opportunities increase, and we hope that you can participate in that.
So one more question at the bottom, security. So security, you have to be careful. Again, it's not a complete question. So there's full stack. So you're talking about infrastructure security, and how do you secure an infrastructure? And there was programmatic security, which is which is what they used to do in the old days. Now we just configure security. So you take your existing code base. It's not secure, but through configuration, we can make that secure, right? We can make that secure. So yes, there is some component of security. All right. But at the same time, you have to understand that security is constantly, it's a 24/7 process. All right. That there's always going to be someone who has the need to crash your application. All right. And even I had students during class, I invited a guest speaker. And guess what? One of the students, he felt the need to crash a transportation application, which was the worst thing to do. And the reason is transportation is governed under federal jurisdiction. And we used the logs to figure out that he actually crashed the application. So he was like super sorry afterwards.
And say that if you're very interested in the security aspects of almost anything computationally, we offer a cybersecurity certificate in that area that leads to certification in so you can go for the ISSP I've forgotten the name.
CSISP.
Yeah, at any rate, you will be able to work on that to your heart's content. But if you take both, you've got the both best of both worlds, right? So what Michael's referring to is the systematic security offered by things like data centers, but those also get attacked. So if you're very interested in that, the cybersecurity certificate program might be for you.
So ask yourself, are you a developer, or you're not interested in developer, you just want to focus on security, right? So if you want to focus on security, then you have to take the security program. If you want to focus on development, then full stack program is for you.
Yeah, that's really good advice, and for the distinctions. I do have some notes here from our program director who wanted to share a few things with everybody that's attending the session as we are almost towards our end. And while I go over that, I just want to let you know that students learn how to make Android apps across multiple devices, including PC, laptop, and mobile. And also the classes are synchronous and online, and they're true for true beginners, and with no experience in Python, JavaScript, or SQL. And also that you will learn technical content as exactly listed on our website. So please go ahead and check that. So yeah, just wanted to let everybody know that. I know we are at time. There is one more note
One more.
yeah, go ahead.
So we record the lectures. So some of you, it happens you miss a class out of the 12, 13 sessions, right? So we do have the lectures recording. We just ask that you download the lectures on your own time, right? Download the lectures on your time, but do not put them on. Don't put them on YouTube, all right? So keep them for yourself, for your reference, all right? So if you miss a class, that's not an issue, right? Remember what I said. Things happen in life, all right? Things happen in life, and it's as simple as that, right? But we try to keep our deadlines, all right? And if you need a day here, a day there, it's not going to make a big difference, right? It's not going to make a big difference. And don't forget, everything's online, all right? Everything's online. So suppose you can make a presentation, right? You can always record that, right? Send the recording, and we can watch the recording in our own time, right? So that's not an issue. All right, that's not an issue. Remember, we have some very sophisticated tools. We just have to use these tools, and you'll be impressed what you can achieve when you use all these tools. And remember, tyranny of distance is not there. That's going to prevent us from accomplishing our tasks. All right, so that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. No, that was great. I actually put a quick poll up, so thank you for everyone for answering that. It will really help us follow up with you. For anyone who did not have their questions answered, please reach out to me at mash.chaudhry mash.chaudhry@torontomu.ca. I want to thank all of our presenters. And thank you all for taking the time to attend today's online session. If you're interested in more information about the certificate presented today, visit our website at continuing.torontomu.ca. The contact information and all of the information that you received today, and also a recording of this session will be sent in your email within 24 to 48 hours. And on behalf of the Chang School and our presenters, thank you for joining us today. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. And I look forward to seeing my class.